I'm here with Stan McDonald of Jacob Title. Stan, I've heard that every real estate closing at Jacob Title is a very big deal. Why is that?
West Ham reminded me of a very impactful statement that I heard from Coach Gene Stallings here today. He talked about big games and little games. He said he didn't like that comparison. He says because try losing one of those little games, and if you ever do, it ends up being the biggest game all year long. Well, it's the same thing with real estate closings. Every game, every closing is a very big deal at Jacob Title because once you're closing and your contract on the line, it's a very big deal, and we understand that at Jacob Title.
So it sounds like whether your client is a first-time residential buyer or a multi-million-dollar investor, they can expect your agent.
That's exactly right. As a matter of fact, when you bring a real estate closing to us at Jacob Title, we understand it's all about trust and confidence. And when Stan McDonald tells you that a chicken dip stuff, you can look under his wing for the box.
And like Benny likes to say, there's no doubt about it.
I'm here with Thomas from Talent Heating and Air. With the temperatures going up and temperatures going down right now, now is a good time to get your heating and air system looked at. Thomas, when somebody calls, you guys answer.
That's right. The phones are staffed by us, man, 24/7. We're ready to come out and take care of you that day.
How do they give you guys a call?
You give us a call at 256-503-490.
And you can find you guys on the World Wide Web at
TalentHVAC.com.
And now is a good time to do this because you guys are offering a special deal.
That's right. We're doing $49 tune-ups this spring. We're also doing free second opinions. We offer that year-round. Somebody comes out, they say you got a back compressor or a leak in a refrigerator. Give us a call, see if we can save you some money.
Thomas from Talent Heating and Air. Thomas, one more time, that phone number.
256-503-4490.
AL number 21. WCCN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
I'm Christine. Breaking NHL news just days after parting ways with the Penguins, Mike Sullivan has been hired as the new head coach of the Rangers. The two-time Stanley Cup winning coach and two previous assistant coaching stints with New York. He replaces the fired Peter Laviolette. The Jets will be without center Mark Scheifele for tonight's potential clincher in Game 6 of their first-round Stanley Cup playoff series against the Blues. He was hurt in Game 5. The Rockets staring at elimination, second consecutive game when they visit the Warriors in Game 6 of that first-round NBA playoff series tonight. Coverage 8 Eastern on ESPN. Golden State point guard Seth Curry continuing to deal with an injured thumb. Baseball, Angels outfielder Mike Trout heading to the injured list with a bone bruise in his left knee. The injury is not believed to be serious, and tests did not show any structural damage.
Eagle Masonry and Insulation. It's right there in the name. Eagle is your one-stop shop for block, stone, or brickwork, monument signs, and outdoor kitchens and fireplaces. Eagle also offers the finest craftsmanship and insulation, including fiberglass or spray foam insulation, and of course, insulation removal. Philip Love and his team have years of experience bringing the region the best in masonry and insulation services. For more information and a quote, visit insulatewitheagle.com or call 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Would you call a plumber for a root canal? Same goes for selling your timberland or farm. Choose someone who understands your property and can help you on the front end so you can capitalize on the back end. I am Bo Butler with Southland Realty and Auction. As a guide, I have put many hunters in position to take a shot. It's time for you to take your shot. Let's talk about putting you in position to sell your property. Call me at 256-609-0512. Remember, Bo knows land.
The best in local sports talk from the 256. We are local.
When you're number one, you don't have to worry.
We are award-winning. Thank you for listening. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Who's that for life?
Joe Hunk. John Abraham. 256-576-4977. Welcome to the Blitz.
We're going 3-1 edition of the Morning Blitz. 2, 3. John Abraham, Steve Moulton, that's Rudy Harmon. Oh, yeah, 2 hours more. I was about to say 2 hours straight. It's going to be 4 hours straight. I didn't talk in the first show whatsoever.
We're letting you kind of save your voice because we know you're also doing the Tom Abraham show. So you're putting in 7 hours, but you do get one of those hours off to at least get something to eat.
Yeah, well, still got to be back to get everything set up. Regardless, we have a lot of fun things to get into on a fun Friday. It includes your phone calls, 256-576-4977. The transition, it's different. It's different. You guys joining on the show that way, or hop in on WZZN in our chat on YouTube, Facebook, and X. We've had a long week, fellas. Steve, I know you're feeling it.
Well, I'm going to be back here Monday morning.
Yeah.
When you guys are at Bill Penny Toyota. It ain't done for me.
No, it's not.
So you'll be producing, I guess?
I'm going to be sitting right here. Joe's off Monday, too.
Okay. So you're saying you're doing the Blitz on Monday.
Yeah.
He'll be in a little bit earlier.
I mean, as far as I know, is there somewhere Scott's going to be that I don't know?
Not so far.
Bill Penny Toyota.
I don't know. Unless
Toyota's on continued.
it does.
It really does.
Nope.
It is the one constant that we have of Toyota.
I haven't heard of a pickleball tournament or anything, so going on. So I think you'll be back.
You talk about Toyotathon continuing. Right? I know there's also something else that has just seemingly continued for, I would say,
This is Bill Belichick.
No. That's a whole other story in itself. Another thing that has continued, though, throughout my entire life and throughout its inception has been Pokemon. And I know the first thing you guys are thinking, this is
anime.
Blitz.
You're going
Not anime. I'm going Pokemon cards, going sports cards, memorabilia, and all of that, and how Pokemon has helped continue the cards and the memorabilia, the whole hobby in and of itself, to continue a new life.
I used
2025.
Growing up was big. That was something my dad would do. We would go down to the service station, and he would buy me the Topps baseball cards. But there was actually another one called Score.
Yes.
I got big into the Score.
Oh, yeah. I remember those.
Yeah. In fact, I bought the first year, it was every card ever made the first year Score came out.
Wow.
Yeah.
That box would probably go for a lot if it came out today. It'd go for probably $70 or $130.
Now, I do have
those.
I have the 30. In the middle of the year, they came out with these like trading cards.
Yeah.
It was a special little box, and I do have Bo Jackson's rookie card.
Well, when I was a kid,
That's awesome.
I remember when they made a big deal about Score coming out because, correct me if I'm wrong here, but of course, the granddaddy of them all was Topps. And then you had Donruss and Fleer.
That's right.
That was the three major ones. And then Score came out. And then after that, when Upper Deck kind of hit a few years after that, it's been Upper Deck.
And I was out of the card game.
No, I was too, pretty much, by the time Upper Deck hit. And again, now we got Panini and all that stuff. And I don't know.
I have no idea.
My good friend Brooks Bryant, former legend, he's a legend at Grissom High School, state tournament MVP, all that stuff, played college basketball at East Carolina, Northwestern State for Danville. He's big into that. Champ Sports Cards, it's his shop, and everything. And
well, John Schulman, the previous coach at UAA, found out. So I had this like bin of baseball cards that I just threw stuff into. We were cleaning out the old house. We were selling the house, and so I just threw them all in a bin. He wanted them. He paid me $50 for just a bin of cards. So I gave it to him, and of course his wife was just like, "Appreciate that, thank you." And now they're our problem.
Well, if I was the wife, I would have thought about it a little bit differently. This is an investment.
Yeah, but I'm sorry, Pokemon cards. I didn't even get up on a tangent right there.
So you guys actually did exactly what I wanted. You started talking about your card experiences and how that was. Because I got into it at a young age. Football cards all over the place. You brought up Score. The first thing I thought of was my Aaron Hernandez rookie card Score. And that is something that
what's on the back of that card? Did they list his hobbies on the back of that card?
Bad boys. What you gonna do? what
the
you
time.
gonna do when they come for you?
Time. I never thought he'd amount to anything in the NFL, and he didn't really.
He amounted to something.
He
He
amounted
did.
to something, that is for sure. But I would love.
So the other cards that what just caught like wildfire, and Drew will back me up on this, even if he doesn't know. Garbage Pail Kids.
Oh my
Garbage
goodness.
Pail Kid cards. I'm telling you, from like the time I think it was like 6th grade to about 9th grade, that's all it was Garbage Pail Kids. And it was like what was those dolls? What were they? It was Cabbage.
a spin-off of
Cabbage Patch Kids. The spin-off of that of just like their evil brothers.
Yeah. Well, that continued into the 2010s, where it's just like the kids wanted stuff that is disgusting, just it sounds gross,
Yeah, but the bigger deal was
all of that
to get the ones that would peel off, and you'd put them on your notebook.
Did they have the scratch and sniff as well?
Yeah.
They had
Yeah.
Of course they did. Either way, I do want to have that open to the listeners. If they ever got into cards and what their favorite cards were, and maybe if they ever thought about selling some of their cards. Not to me. I don't want to buy them.
Yeah.
But the Athletic come out with an article that was talking about how sports cards shows are benefiting from the explosion in demand for Pokemon. And I went to a card show recently here in Huntsville, and I was walking by these vendors, and on one side it was the Pokemon, and on the other side it was the sports. And let me tell you, those prices get up there. And sometimes you wouldn't even expect it. I know, Steve, you sold your batch of cards.
I did.
It might have gone for more than $50, but you don't want to dwell on that. But I do want to get into that conversation throughout today. On top of that,
There were Star Wars cards back in the day too.
Yes,
but the Star Wars cards, you'd flip them on the other side, and you could make. I think it was the Millennium Falcon, where you could just. It was anyway. That was always where you get like you're always missing that one piece of the puzzle.
Yeah. I remember we had.
I think it was C3PO was the hardest one to get. I want to say.
There was a granola company back in the day. They used to have it where you can rip it out of the box, and then that's how you get your Star Wars cards. That was my Star Wars collection, and I also had some Batman cards. Now you look at the card aisle at Walmart.
Gum? Is there gum in there still?
No,
or
they
not?
don't do that. No, they don't do that.
That awful gum.
In Japan, what you got to do though is if you want your cards or you want your toys on the aisle right next to where you're checking out, you have to have candy involved with it because it's supposed to be candy up on that shelf instead of the toys. But it's just another little thing that continues on over in Japan that America used to be super heavily involved with. And now, if you get any of those packs with the gum in it, they're ancient and they never taste good. Don't taste them. Probably don't want them. You guys were talking a little bit about Donald Trump, of course, going into Alabama and getting to talk to the students. They graduated, and I thought that was a really cool event. He gave out the good roll tide. I saw Donald Trump at the Georgia-Alabama game this past season. The man's a big fan of the Tide. I mean, he's a big fan of football. He's a big fan of Tide. He's American people, and I mean, he continues this rhetoric going with this.
I've been to 2 games that Donald's been at. The first was the national championship game in Atlanta that took place between Alabama and Georgia. And I remember I had to get there insanely early that day because of the security around Mercedes-Benz that day. And, of course, in Tuscaloosa as well.
Yeah, I was there.
We were all there.
I was there in Tuscaloosa last year when he was there for when he attended the Georgia game, and I was also there in 2019 when he was, I believe, he made an appearance for the Alabama LSU Armageddon game with Joe Burrow and one of Wild Turkey's great defensive performances for the University of Alabama.
Well, it's good to see him come back to.
Which, of course, is Pete Golding.
Yes, that is right. That is right.
It was
I tried to get a turkey named Pete Golding this week, by the way.
Maybe not a kangaroo?
Steve, he mentioned a wild turkey.
I sure did.
I did. And I said, why don't you name it Pete Golding?
Yeah. There was a story from earlier in the week in regards to a wild turkey.
Even Josh Pate, he posted it on his X feed. And I was like, this got around to everybody.
85, man. Boing, boing.
You guys might have been the first one to break this story, to be honest with you. Golly. You know what doesn't break? Your roof. You go to Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Those are the guys you need to talk to about all of your roofing
Are we
needs.
talking to them?
If you're having any roofing problems, make sure you look them up
We need
online.
to talk to them.
Yeah, we need to get him over here ASAP, bro.
FlemingHSB.com is the place to find them. Get your quote and just look forward to the weather that is coming. And if you already have a Fleming roof atop your head, you can sleep comfortably knowing that you are going to be fine and your home's going to be able to withstand the elements. Just enjoy the rain as it trickles on your roof. Also got conversation about the NBA playoffs. I know that
Where's LeBron?
he's sitting at home probably right now. I'm not one to follow the NBA playoffs. I know that Drew, you're not too big of a fan on it.
I will. Yeah,
But at the same time, you can't deny that the basketball has been pretty impressive. And last night, Jalen Brunson, an absolute beast.
Did
Very
you
clutch.
see him, the crossover move, and then just stick it?
Man was busy.
But my favorite part of that is him looking around, like, look what I just did. I made all these people this angry. I mean, that was onions.
Including Wolverine Dan.
That was onion. Well, I realize that's the Pistons that you basically said you're done. But that was impressive from Jalen Brunson. But I think they've got the Celtics next.
Yeah.
So have fun with that.
Adios.
Have fun with that there, Nick.
Yeah.
I'm not too big of a Knicks guy. I know my family is. They want to be Knicks fans and all of that stuff. And I'm looking at them just like, what are you doing? What are you doing? I can't blame them for it. I'm a little bit of a Cleveland fan myself, but I have not been a fan that is actually gone out of my way to watch basketball.
Cavs are a fun team.
Yeah, I'm glad you're telling me that because now I'm just like, maybe I should. But at the same point, I'm thinking back to when I was a Cleveland Cavaliers fan, and I think a lot of it did come from LeBron James, and that was in the time when he wasn't known for what he is now, and that's of course falling down on the ground. And not
The fact that he took that team in 07 to the NBA Finals,
he was.
I mean, that team in 07
that was the team.
It was LeBron and LeBronettes. And Mo was on that team, right? Yeah.
Brock Purdy also in the news for getting a new contract. Hasn't happened just yet, but the numbers are being thrown out. $50 to $56 million annually for a quarterback who was drafted last just a few years ago. This is an interesting one. I have a whole theory around San Francisco and their quarterback picks, and this goes all the way back to 2005. So it goes back a few decades. I do want to get into that conversation, as well as Henry Ruggs has still been looking to get back into the NFL. I love it for him. He had a terrible, terrible thing happen to him. Well, he was a part of it. And sometimes, mistakes happen. And again, thoughts out to the family that he did affect. And it is going to affect them for the rest of their lives. But at the same time, mistakes happen. Kid's still young. He's got probation coming up in 2026. So I wanted to go down the list, because why not, of 5 players who came back into the NFL after some time in prison.
Well, I immediately think of a certain former Atlanta Falcon quarterback.
Yes. That is
in that situation. But how old is Henry Ruggs?
He's 26.
So wow.
Yeah. Not really up there in age. And there was a time whenever it was like a life sentence. That wasn't the case. It goes down to 10 years, and then it goes down even farther. The whole prison system, a little bit past me at this point, but we'll be talking a little bit about that throughout it as well. And, of course, we got Drew in the building. There's going to be a little bit of SEC baseball conversation as we have a busy week, as we are officially in one of the best months for baseball when it comes to college.
And, of course, you're home for the SEC baseball tournament, and I assume the same can be said for the fine folks up in Winchester, Tennessee as well. They had themselves a new show that started yesterday, and they called it The Drive. Yeah, they called it The Drive from 2 to 4. Where on earth could they possibly get a name like The Drive in Winchester, Tennessee?
When it comes to radio shows, I've learned that being different comes very, very rare. The Blitz isn't even that original of a name, so
there are fewer blitzes than you think.
Yeah, but
there's quite a few drives.
There is quite a few drives. That's when people are mostly listening to sports radio.
Because when was asked to create a name for the evening show. And by the way, for those that don't know, in Winchester, I host a show along with Wes Neighbors called The Drive from 5 to 7 every weekday. But I was asked to get a name, and so I just started looking for names, and it fit because 5 to 7 is drive time.
People driving back.
Not 2 to 4.
2 to 4 is work.
5 to 7. Yeah, that's work time.
The work. That's
Yeah,
the
work time.
Joe, I'm just saying, this one's for you. The works. There you go. That from 2 to 4. And you know what? It landed there perfectly in between all of our shows. So if you guys got the app up in Winchester.
Afternoon nap. How about that? Afternoon nap.
You'll be
I
able
don't know if that'd be a good name for a talk.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I'd probably fall asleep. But hey, maybe that's the point. No, I did listen to it yesterday whenever it popped up. It was the first episode.
That's right.
And I got to admit, pretty entertaining. They less sports than I thought there would be. But, you know, they'll probably implement a little bit more throughout the days. But I do like that. And good on Joe Abraham for all of that he's doing.
Local programming, all about.
The big
all
thumbs
about.
up from
Yep.
up. We have callers on the lines. We'll take a break. When we get back, we'll hop into those conversations and more as we get things rolling on a 3-wide Friday here on the Blitz on 97.7 ESPN The Zone and 97.7 ESPN The Zone and ESPN Winchester. That's the other one.
Tom Luganville here from my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team takes great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Hi, my name is Dan Aldridge. I'm here to let you know about the Aldridge Law Firm and the soon-to-be-announced Legal Town Center. I've been practicing law in Alabama since 1984, and I also practice in Tennessee. And I'm from North Alabama, and I'm here to represent you and take care of your legal needs. For many of us, hiring an attorney is not high on the priority list, and maybe a little scary. But it's something that we all need at some point. So by all means, do your homework. And if you need representation for car accident, wrongful death, medical malpractice, nursing home abuse, or estate planning, or any other matter, just give us a call at 256-534-3188. And you can email me at Dan, that is Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. God bless America.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
When you call most roofing companies, all you'll hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming. At Fleming Roofing and Restoration, we're focused on your needs, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement. Folks around here have trusted Fleming since 1965 for all their residential and commercial roofing needs. And as the area's storm damage experts, Fleming knows all the ins and outs of the insurance claims process. Log on FlemingHSV.com to schedule your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Flying nonstop from Huntsville is a breeze on Breeze Airways. They're nice people flying nice people to nice places on really nice planes. Let's be direct. Nonstop from Huntsville to the places you want to go. Las Vegas, Orlando, or Tampa, starting at $49. It's time for a weekend getaway or a long overdue week away. Come to check in using the convenient Breeze app and check out. What are you waiting for? Book today at flybreeze.com. That's flybreeze.com. Breeze Airways. Seriously nice.
Are you tired of power outages disrupting your life? It's time for a Generac standby generator from Current Electric. Storms may rage outside, but inside your family's powered up. So why choose Current Electrical for your generator needs? 1, we offer a wide range of models to suit every budgeted energy requirement. 2, our project managers handle every step of the process: power, gas, permitting, and inspections. 3, our certified technicians install your generator with precision, ensuring peace of mind. Don't wait for the next blackout. Call 256-880-1880 or visit us online at jetsuperstore.com.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center and meteorologist Jordan Dressman, a mostly cloudy, overcast sky this afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the upper 70s and lower 80s. Could see some scattered showers and thunderstorms across the Tennessee Valley as we head into the heart of the afternoon, early into the evening. Some of that activity could be on the stronger end of the spectrum. We'd be talking about the potential for some gusty winds and a little bit of small hail. That activity should die down a little bit as we head into the overnight, early into your Saturday morning. Temperatures dropping into the lower 60s. A mostly cloudy, overcast sky for your Saturday. Temperatures going to be much cooler. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman, your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
I want to thank you. Thank you for making us your number one choice for sports talk in North Alabama. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you very much. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Hello, welcome back into the Blitz. John Abraham, Steve Moll, Rudy Arman, here with you guys for 2 hours straight. Sports talk, goofs and gaffs, and everything in between.
I'm Tupac. I'm Team Tupac.
You're Team Tupac?
Yeah, not a big.
I was neither one of them. Honestly, I don't think my brain was developed to the point where I knew what rap was at the point. So, regardless.
No, I definitely was Team Tupac, and people don't understand how talented that man was.
Oh my God.
He was a great actor too, man.
He was.
This guy was a savant. I mean, pretty much he could do anything he wanted to do. He just couldn't stay out of the hood.
How it is. Honestly, that's how it is. I watched a documentary on Memphis the other day, the other sides of Memphis. And I'm thinking to myself, it's like Bass Pro Shops, like the pyramids over there.
Yeah.
And then you get into a little bit more of the suburbs and all that, and it's just like, wow. Like it's a totally different lifestyle out there. And hey,
I ended up walking downtown Memphis one night when UAH plays Christian Brothers, which is right next to the Liberty Bowl. So we were staying. This was early on when Stevie U got into the Gulf South, and I wanted to go see a Grizz game.
Yeah,
and of course I was tied to the bus because I was on the bus. Well, I had credentials to go that night. I think that was the game that I went with David Ivey, the assistant coach at the time. We went to go see the Warriors and the Grizz, and I ended up walking to the arena and getting these looks, like, it's like the song "You're Walking in Memphis," but it's
I don't.
There's good and bad parts of every town,
really, yes.
But it feels like
everybody's on edge.
A little bit,
yeah,
a little bit.
I think that's exactly what the case is. It's crazy. I've been there a few times before, and the last time was, of course, heading to Dallas or heading to get to SEC Media Days.
Yeah,
and it's just a gloomy place. And the skyscrapers, you got windows.
Well, you remember when you stopped in the middle of the night? That was in Memphis.
Oh, that was West Memphis, though.
Yeah.
Oh, that was right across the street, though. Casinos. I mean, come on now.
And so, did you see that the next night? I saw because Spencer Denton, a weather forecaster that used to be in our area, is over in Memphis. So I've got him on my friends list. And he popped up a story. It was the next night. There was a shooting at that place where we went to from the night before. Same place.
Well, that's what you get. I mean, it is.
Welcome to Memphis.
Top deaths per capita is what I've heard in that area. But regardless, top to the phone lines. We got a guy that might have a few stories about that and so much more. It's Brandon. Brandon, how you doing, man?
Morning, Brandon.
I woke up this morning after that midnight saga with baseball last night. Man, that was rough. We played a 2-game after school yesterday when all the lightning delayed. I think we first pitch in the second game was at 9:20 last night. We're late.
Midnight baseball.
They were bound and determined they were going to get those games in because it was supposed to rain all day tomorrow. But that sun ain't never shined any prettier than it is right now. So, but
rain's coming now.
Well, during all that, we're standing there and we're talking about the horse race and coming up.
You talking about the Kentucky Derby? Yep.
And we're talking about what if you had a horse, what would you name it?
Ooh, that's a good question.
And I a couple people standing there. One guy hates Tennessee, so he said he would name his horse Phil's Stomach. There's another guy there who didn't like Dabo, so he said he would name his Dabo's Attitude.
Wow.
That's a good name, though.
Yeah, Dabo's Attitude.
Yeah.
And then my buddy Mark said I would name mine Wayne Choking, and I said you just friended Ruby Orman. You didn't know.
Wow.
And another guy that hates Tennessee said he would name his horse Bobby Hill.
Bobby? Bobby?
Video games? Playing all those video games?
I said I would name mine Mr. Dur Slide.
My quarterback we're talking about.
Yeah. Another guy said he would name his the Scatterboo Skip. I said I thought that was a pretty good.
That's pretty good. It's pretty good. I like that one. I like that
And
one a
then
lot.
I know they have one that said Sandman. I said, so
That's
if I had
right.
another horse, I would name it Somnodale. And y'all would get that joke.
Oh, I get it. I hear the ad going right now in my ears. I wouldn't relate it to any sports. I just think this is the like best culmination of words. I'd name mine Pelican Dust. Pelican Dust. It's going so fast.
Is there
Flying so fast, you'd only see the dust.
I have never had a thought in my head of what am I ever going to name a horse?
Well, now you can.
Get out of debt. How about that? Or,
You know, I want Moulton to name his horse. It'd be the Mike Bell Exit. Those other people
wow.
get that.
Okay.
No, I'm waiting to see where he's going.
So the backstory on that is was at 790 The Zone in Atlanta, was producer there for a while, and Steak Shapiro brought in some guy by the name of Mike Bell from the Tampa area, and Bell wasn't his real last name, but I digress on that. But let's just say he needed an Uber for the Atlanta metropolitan area, and that was his Uber for close to a year. Close to a year.
His ears are burning right now.
Yeah. Let's just say I would wait outside the Gold Club quite a bit
Good man.
for my man Mike Bell.
Drew, what about you?
What would I name my horse?
Yeah.
Probably Stroker Ace.
Stroker Ace. Buford T. Justice? I mean, come on.
I mean, I thought about Bandit, but that's usually with a horse's name, it's multiple.
No. A little bit more
You wouldn't
complex.
name yours Jeff's Revenge?
Nope.
Jeff's revenge. The revenge we got is the silence button.
There you go.
There you go.
He's on mute permanent.
I might name mine Mike Price. Might do that.
Well,
Mike
Price.
Yeah.
Golly.
But I was thinking about that, and I thought, I know when you wouldn't name it the Utah Yetis because they won't let you do that.
No, they won't. They will not. Did you hear about that, Steve? They're not. They want the Utah Yetis fit so well with that Utah hockey team.
Yeah.
But Yeti,
What they went hockey club, right? Utah Hockey Club.
oh, they got a name that leaked a little bit ago. That was their original name that they put out, kind of like the Washington football team.
Yeah, which I got kind of used to.
Yeah. The Yeti brand with the coolers, nah, you can't do that. Even though it was
they're
by
suing
far,
them?
no, they're just telling them, no, you can't do that. We have a problem with that. By far,
why wouldn't you
general
embrace that?
That's what I was thinking. I had
Why
sales
can't you just spell it Yetee and just word it and still call it the Yeti?
And I have another idea. I could name it Yosemite Sam.
Kangaroo Jack.
Didn't they change Alabama?
Something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Sure. No, I thought about that. That's a good game to play during a rain late baseball game. People coming up, and there are some other ones that I can't mention. They may have been latent insults to ex-wives, child support, and other things that are not radio friendly.
Oh,
Those are fantasy football team names.
Appreciate that self-edit right there.
Yeah, we try our best. Definitely try our best not to do that. One guy said he would name his 285 because that's where I'm going to die. And if you spent time in Atlanta, you know exactly what he's talking about.
That is called a Pascual Perez.
Yes. And I didn't know, I won't tell Moulton this. Last night we were talking about the Braves. I didn't know just exactly how many people I didn't know that hate AJ Minter. I said his name last night, and I said, well, as long as we don't bring AJ Minter in to close this one, and the looks from people's faces. Like, there's a club of people down there. Like, there was not one person that had anything nice to say about that guy. We were talking about closing out. I told him we went to the Padres again.
I feel the same way about Bryce Elder, by the way.
Oh, no.
I do.
Come on, you can't
I
put him in
really
the same
do.
category.
No, I really do.
Minter,
I mean, the fact that he made an All-Star game is still just like
That's a
foreign
stretch.
in my head.
That's a stretch.
Like,
but last year, whenever we went to the Braves game, it might have been the year before that. Whenever Minter was in the, whenever he was pitching,
yeah,
he came in and everybody around us, you could just hear the
groan
and be like, ah, here we go.
Well, most of it was coming. He's like, please don't put Minter in. Please don't put Minter in. And then they walked him out there, and we were like, oh, my God.
Yeah.
And speaking of, are you coming this year, Mo?
am I coming this year?
To the Braves game next week, dog.
No, 2 weeks.
Was it 2 weeks? I'm sorry, yeah, it is 2 weeks.
It's on the 15th.
Yeah.
We just want the game to
No,
be here a little
I,
sooner.
I don't know the answer to that question.
Just say yes.
Well, we got 6 tickets.
Okay. All right.
So
Who,
we got three.
who we playing that day?
The Nationals.
Come on now. I'm just excited the fact that the Braves are only 2 games under 500, but the Dodgers are coming to town.
Could have been 500 if they could have beat the Rockies the other day and not wasted Chris Sale.
Yeah, Bryce Elder is on the mound on Sunday, by the way. Can't wait for a little Sunday night baseball. It is Sunday night baseball, and we'll have it for you. It is at least scheduled for Sunday is supposed to be a nice day. Might be a doubleheader for all I know, but tomorrow's supposed to be awfully wet across the board. So it's Braves Dodgers, and I at least I've got one positive memory of Braves Dodgers, and that's 2021.
Yeah, we can take that with us forever.
Got one.
4 years ago, but yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I know people that are probably still paying their tickets off on their credit card from that World Series.
I mean, how about that year? 2021. It did make what happened in 97 a little easier to swallow. And 99 was like a bonus. Because that team you could tell was you could tell starting to age, and the fact that they made the run to the World Series and
96 is the most bitter, not 97 or 99.
97 was pretty tough to take.
I mean, 97 they didn't even get to the World
I know
Series.
it was the Marlins that ripped right
but
through them.
The Marlins have done that 3 times now.
Yeah,
it happens, okay. But 96, they were better than the Yankees, and then Mark Wohler's career came apart.
Yeah,
Jim Leyritz.
I actually was off to the Mark Wohler study.
I know he would have failed a drug test, by the way.
Mark is a real estate agent now, and put an offer in and put all the houses in.
Nice,
very nice.
And he would not talk about the Braves at all.
I bet not.
Not one word. He had no interest in speaking, not saying a word about it. I could not believe that. I figured he would want to at least talk about the good times, but he didn't even want to do that.
Is Rocker still in the Macon area?
Man, he hangs out with Southside Steve Rickman regularly, and is on his show regularly.
Is he really?
Yep.
Wow.
Those are bros, buddy. I mean, I say they're bros, and I love Steve Rickman, but there's some bros. Yeah.
The best piece of obscure memorabilia that I have is a signed baseball that I have from Jeff Pearlman and John Rock. I really did that. Now, half of Pearlman's signature ended up on the stitches. That shows you how many times he signed a baseball. But, and I got Pearlman's signature first, thinking that would have been the harder one. But then I had to, maneuver in a way for Rocker to sign it on the other side without seeing Perlman?
Well, I have one baseball that I don't think I could trade for a Coke because I was young when I got it. I have a signed baseball from one Raphael Belliard.
Nice.
Nice.
Now, one thing that
they go, who?
yeah, no, I know exactly who you're talking about. The one baseball that I regret playing with afterwards, this is like a Sandlot deal, was I had Chief Nakahoma's signature on a baseball. I ended up using it for baseball season.
It's all right because I used my Alabama Hammers ball that was signed by the entire team religiously.
But this is Chief Nakahoma that I'm talking about.
I know. I just
This is Chief Nakahoma that I'm
It would
talking.
be canceled today.
Yeah, no, it would be.
I think it's great enough for him when we go to the game. I wonder if they'll let him in the gate.
Yeah, separate. I'll just maybe go with it.
Just put something on underneath the cloth. All right. Yeah, you hear me?
As long as you're walking around behind me beating the drum, we'll make it happen.
Brandon, appreciate you calling in, brother.
Roll Tide.
Good stuff.
Have a good weekend, brother.
Before we hop into break, we can squeeze in one more. We got Wolverine Dan with Wolverine Dan. How you doing, man?
Oh, my Pistons, that hurt, bro. But you know what? That's a young team and a great coach. So what do you think about the future?
Well, like I said, I have not been following the NBA Finals or the NBA playoffs whatsoever. But at the trajectory that they're going in, if they can keep this roster, then I think that they can make it back. But can they keep it and also add on to that superstar talent and make it a little bit more of a championship team? That's going to take a little bit of time to see.
Well, it seems to me, Detroit sports town's starting to wake up. You got your Pistons, you got the Lions, and how about those Tigers?
Yeah, Tigers are not bad. It's always, and I was one that actually I related to you whenever you talked about to Tom about the Yankees versus the Tigers and that series going into the playoffs and all of that. And for me, whenever I saw the Tigers on the schedule, I was always a little bit nervous because that is a team that, for whatever reason, always seems to have the Yankees number.
I did not realize that the Detroit Tigers were 20-12.
Oh, yeah.
I did not realize that.
The Viper Chase Lee been called up, and he's Chase is a great story at Alabama because he walked on from he's from McAllen, I believe McAdory, and he didn't make the team as a freshman. He went to their intramural team, and then they changed his pitching delivery to sidearms, and his velocity took a jump, the movement. He made the team as a sophomore walk-on, and then by the time he was a senior, he was maybe the best reliever in the Southeastern Conference and was drafted by the Texas Rangers and then traded last year to Detroit, made his major league debut earlier this year, and is becoming part of that Tiger bullpen. And as Wolverine Dan said, the Tigers have been a pleasant surprise thus far. Got a good young ball club.
I know Casey Mize just had a birthday, so
we just picked up another guy from San Diego that was playing for Bama, and let's say Bridge something, or anyway, pretty good ball player from what I hear. I guess he did play in San Diego. Now he's with the Toledo Mudhens.
No.
So with that said, I had a big sports collection when I moved out of my house. I gave it all to my son. And all my baseballs that were signed, I gave them to my friend in Texas because he's a baseball collector. And I had Gaylord Perry.
Nice. I do have that one. And then this was one of the early card signings that I went to. And then he got a kick out of after he signed it. I told him to spit on it.
Wow.
And he got a kick out of that because he's, known for spitball.
Yeah.
Spitball.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
I actually, the other couple I kind of hurt a little bit, but he collects them and I don't really. So, in a collection, you can't take it with you, so you need to share with the people that you love.
Exactly, yeah.
Other two balls was Willie Horton, 1968 World Series right fielder that they won the 68 against by Big Bot Gibson and the St. Louis Cardinals. And the other guy from that team I had was Bill Freehand, the catcher.
Wow.
So, I was pretty pleased with those balls, and I'm glad he got it.
very few individuals. I can think of two right off the top of my head that I've met where they had a presence around them, and that was Bill Russell and Bob Gibson, where they just had this aura around them where you didn't want to mess with them.
There's a little bit of a better aura than Jake Locker. When I was younger, I could not talk to him. Whenever I saw him, I was like, sign this card. And he signed it.
BUST.
In my closing, in my closing, if I'm not mistaken, Bob Gibson still has the best ERA of all time.
Does he?
I mean, he was unreal. My favorite memory of being a kid growing up and Jennings Collectibles being at its zenith was they had guys come and sign, and the one guy I got to meet that it sticks in my head that I'll never forget, and my parents took me over there for the signing, and I got to meet him. And I've still got the baseball somewhere. And he dated it, but Rapid Robert Feller.
Nice.
Bob Feller.
Nice.
Yeah. One of the.
So when I first moved to this area, I was hosting a morning show on a station that used to do sports all the time.
Right.
And I had someone call in, and it was a kid asking about his paper on what is the most influential person to play in the game of baseball.
That's cool.
So we kind of hashed it out, and I ended up going with Bob Gibson because I did not, when I researched it, I didn't realize he basically got them to raise the mound because of how lethal his stuff was back in the day. So I went Bob Gibson, someone that can change the game in a literal sense where baseball changed the game because of Bob Gibson.
Yeah. No.
So
Bob, in my closing, Bob Gibson, he was great, but the problem he ran into, it's a 1968 Detroit Tigers buzzsaw pitching staff. Denny McClain with 31 wins and Mickey Lolich with 29 with Hiller as the reliever. That team is unbelievable. That's what he ran into. The 68 Tigers is probably one of the greatest teams of all time.
Great stuff. Wolverine Dan. Always good to have him, man. Yeah, he'll always get in the Detroit talk.
Oh, there's
yeah. Makes me feel so
Did
young.
he say anything about the Red Wings right there?
No.
No? No, he didn't say anything about the Red Wings.
Nobody says anything about the Red Wings.
All right.
We got to hit a break. When we get back, we'll close out the first hour. Some Daddy's in trouble, and he got we'll get into the story when we get back. This is.
You tell me Tom's in trouble. Tom
not
ever been in
my
trouble?
dad.
Okay.
Other dad. But,
Okay.
We'll talk about it on the other side.
This is Brett Musburger's Beast in Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Drivers who switch to Progressive have an annual savings of nearly $750. Progressive.com. The Atlanta Braves today at home with the Dodgers at Truist Park. It's Yoshinobu Yamamoto on the mound with the Dodgers, a $1.66 favorite for Atlanta. At home, plus 140, 9 under the total. Southeastern Conference baseball today. Auburn a $2.30 dog at Tennessee minus 315. Vanderbilt laying $1.95 at Nashville against Alabama plus 150. 151st running of the Kentucky Derby. Your Kentucky Derby betting guide available at DSIN.com. Journalism, a 3-1 favorite. Sovereignty 5-1. Sandman 6-1. While Rodriguez 12-1. Mike Senner, 97.7 ESPN Zone.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. DOT is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset. But we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information.
TOC, helping you live a better life.
Have you discovered Good Company Cafe? The place for breakfast, brunch, lunch, and so much more. Enjoy brunch all day and pair with one of our many seasonal refreshing drinks, including alcoholic and non-alcoholic options. Choose inside or outside on our gorgeous, spacious, dog-friendly patio. And have some fun with friends playing yard games in the courtyard. Catering, snow options, and lots more at goodcompany-cafe.com. Good Company Cafe, 7500 South Memorial Parkway.
Tom Abraham here with my friends at Your Home Window Company. When it comes to replacement windows, exterior doors, or new window springs, Your Home Window is the answer anywhere in Huntsville, Athens, Decatur, or Hartsville. Your Home Window windows and doors are made here in the USA and come with a lifetime warranty. When replacing with old windows and doors, Your Home Window has the solution for you. In-home estimates are always free and financing is available. Learn more at yourhomewindow.com and see clearly with Your Home Window. Visit yourhomewindow.com to make an appointment today.
The company is Eagle Masonry and Insulation. Did you know they're also Eagle Landscaping and Dirt Work? Eagle can take care of all your landscaping needs, including irrigation, sod work, and planting, both plants and trees. On the dirt work side, Eagle can grade and build your pads, haul dirt in or out, and even do erosion control. Philip Love and his team can do it all for you. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Phil Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. They've got extras with Phil Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Phil Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Phil Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at philpennytoyota.com. Phil Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Now at new vehicles only. The dealer for details.
I'm here with Stan McDonald of Jacob Title. Stan, I've heard that every real estate closing in Jacob Title is a very big deal. Why is that?
Wes, I'm reminded of a very impactful statement that I heard from Coach Gene Stallings years ago when he talked about big games and little games. He said he didn't like that comparison. He says because try losing one of those little games. And if you ever do, it ends up being the biggest game all year long. Well, it's the same thing with real estate closings. Every game, every closing is a very big deal at Jacob Title because when it's your closing and your contract on the line, it's a very big deal, and we understand that at Jacob Title.
So it sounds like whether your client is a first-time residential buyer or a multi-million-dollar investor, they can expect your A game.
That's exactly right. As a matter of fact, when you bring your real estate closing to us at Jacob Title, we understand it's all about trust and confidence. And when Stan McDonald tells you that a chicken dips enough, you can look under his wing from the box.
And like Deans likes to say, there's no doubt about it.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, and meteorologist Jordan Dressman, a mostly cloudy and overcast sky this afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the upper 70s and lower 80s. Could see some scattered showers and thunderstorms across the Tennessee Valley as we head into the heart of the afternoon, early into the evening. Some of that activity could be on the stronger end of the spectrum. We'd be talking about the potential for some gusty winds and a little bit of small hail. That activity should die down a little bit as we head into the overnight, early into your Saturday morning. Temperatures dropping into the lower 60s. A mostly cloudy and overcast sky for your Saturday. Temperatures going to be much cooler. Chief meteorologist Jordan Dressman from ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This will turn journalism on its ear.
Watch our stream on WCCN TV on Twitch and YouTube.
But you are the greatest hero in American history.
We are 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Hold on back in that Blitz on this 3-wide special. John Abraham, Drew Yarman, Steve Moulton.
Is that more Biggie?
More Biggie. I thought Joe has got something for Biggie. Was he a Biggie guy?
Told you we're Tupac. I mean,
Oh, sorry. Well, you tell me one thing, and the board says another. So it's just good. It's the only way we can
And
connect.
here I
with
thought
Hunk
Joe
right
Hunk and I were friends. We're on a turf war now.
The only way we can connect with Joe Hunk is either way, of course, had a brand new child this week.
Well, what are you calling the baby? Gronk?
Gork?
no, Murphy Joe, man.
I know what the
Is
name.
it? That's its name?
Yeah.
That's
Okay, now I know.
It's not an it. It's a little girl,
That's
bro.
her name. Her name is Murphy Joe.
Sorry.
Good Lord,
Look,
man.
I just he had a conversation.
How many
with me.
Minions movies have you seen?
Probably
seen
quite a few. I've only seen the Despicable Me movie. All right, the original.
I haven't seen any of them.
I've watched
good
all
for
of
you.
them. I watched all of them
Yeah, you Minions guy. You show up at the theaters whenever a new one comes out. And
every day.
They ask you what you're watching. You got the Minions outfit on. Either way, we've been having an interesting episode of the Blitz here. It's kind of just been all over the place, and that's soon to come to an end. This show will make his return on Tuesday, but I've been having a lot of fun this week. It's been an amalgamation of 97.7 ESPN and Zone just combined into one.
That's a new one. Amalgamation.
Yeah.
Hey, I got a little bit of vocabulary in here.
Josh Payton had some vocabulary words this morning as well.
He's now released that full conversation with Kalen DeBoer on YouTube. So if you want to check that out, he did a great job previewing it this morning on Talking Ball. We appreciate hearing from Josh Payton, who we now know will be a newlywed.
That's
after
right.
May.
Yep,
that's right.
Not in the fall. You got to get it done here now.
Did not answer the question of how many white T-shirts that he does own.
No, but we know he owns quite a few.
Yeah.
Over under 37. That's what I'm going to put it at.
Now, what I would like to know is, one, whether or not they're living together right now, and two, how much there's always
I would
something
say
that
there's
you
a
need
very
to.
good chance,
There is
yes.
always an adjustment period in terms of where you need to move your stuff when you're with your significant other.
No, those white tees are all up in that closet right now. All right, that comes with time, and it's.
I do wonder if he had his bachelor pad, how much that has changed.
Probably quite a bit. Regardless, if you guys missed out on that conversation, you can go on over to our website, 977espn.com, and you can listen to the entirety of Talking Ball from this morning, or head on over to WZZN TV, and you can watch it there as well. And subscribe to that so you don't miss out on any of the other local programming we got going on here on the Zone. I don't know if you guys saw this, but a lot of the times, if you do something that's wrong, you'll get punished for it. Okay, we saw it with the kid that made those phone calls, and Jeff Ulbrich ended up getting fined $100,000.
Wow.
The Falcons got fined $250,000. It only makes sense. It was a little bit different for Pacers, Tyrese Halliburton's dad, John Halliburton,
AKA idiot.
Yeah, and I think everybody kind of has that general consensus around him.
By the way,
got in the face.
How Giannis dealt with that post game, class act.
Very classic. And first off, if somebody comes up to me waving a towel and he's acting a fool right after I lose a playoff game, that's going to send
Where
me
was
back
security?
home. Yeah,
That's what I want to know. How the hell did he even get to him?
He was a little too close for comfort.
Like, get him the hell off the floor.
I
He
would've-
doesn't belong there. He doesn't belong. He was seeking the spotlight. That's all he was doing, because he's basically trying to live off his son. Let's just call it what it is.
Well, he does have a very successful son. And,
Yeah, he's a hell of a player. But, back off and just, be a supportive father. Don't try to be going nose to nose with somebody when you didn't have a damn thing to do with it. I don't care how many times you took you to the gym. You didn't make the shot, clown. Sit in your seat.
Well, the mallet has officially been slammed, and the Pacers front office has officially banned old daddy
Good.
from attending home and road games for the foreseeable future.
I can totally see him Bobby Valentining that.
Shows up
with a fake mustache.
No, the Groucho glasses.
Yeah, the Groucho. Yeah.
I'm sure he'll have a podcast soon. Maybe he can do one with JJ Redick after he gets fired.
JJ's available.
He gone fishing, as Kenny Smith would say.
How about you take a break?
1, 2,
next
3,
week?
Cancun.
Golly. Second hour coming up right around the corner. A lot more fun to come. We get into a little bit more of the Pokemon cards, as well as Henry Ruggs. Can he return? How feasible is it? And, well, how good can he be? We'll be right back.
This is Steve Moulton from 97.7 ESPN The Zone, and this is What's Happening. Be sure and download our app. Just search 977 ESPN in your Google Marketplace or your Apple Store, depending on your device, so you can take us wherever you might go. And you can also check out our latest zone deals. Head over to our website, 977ESPN.com. The top left banner reads, "Savings never tasted so good." Click on that, then enter in the Big Zone Deals store. For half-off zone deals, Lawler's Barbecue, Cecil, Carrabba's Italian Grill, Bubby's Diner, Corlejos Mexican Grill, Bad Daddy's Burger Bar, Divergence, Full Moon Barbecue, Bigfoot Little Donuts, Hickory Store Barbecue, Good Company Cafe, Apple Lane Farms, the Decatur locations, and rounds of golf at Cherokee Ridge Golf Course and Gunter's Landing. And that's what's happening.
What does it mean to be a part of the Southeastern Conference? That you paint your body, your car, and your dog your school colors? Maybe. But it means more than that. It means your alumni network includes the state, the country, and beyond. It means your school ring doubles as your resume. And yeah, you better believe it means more titles, like doctor, CEO, and your honor. Because this is the SEC. And here, it just means more. What does it mean to be part of the Southeastern Conference? That yours is the only conference with its own chant? Well, yes, but it means more than that. It means a study abroad program that might include reforestation in a mangrove swamp in Australia. It means finding your calling, your future spouse, your startups and founders, and of course, grilling toms that play your fight song. This is the SEC, and here it just means more.
I'm here with Thomas from Talent Heating and Air. With the temperatures going up and temperatures going down right now, now is a good time to get your heating and air system looked at. Thomas, when somebody calls, you guys answer.
That's right. The phones are staffed by us. They're manned 24/7. We're ready to come out and take care of you that day.
How do they give you guys a call?
You give us a call at 256-503-4490.
And you can find you guys on the World Wide Web at
TalentHVAC.com.
And now is a good time to do this because you guys are offering a special deal.
That's right. We're doing $49 tune-ups this spring. We're also doing free second opinions. We offer that year round. When that comes out, they say you got a bad compressor, leaking refrigerator. Give us a call, see if we can save you some money.
Thomas from Talent Heating and Air. Thomas, one more time, that phone number.
256-503-4490. AL certain number 21014.
Ford Motor Company. From America, for America. Hi, folks. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford with a real quick quiz. Out of all the manufacturers, do you know which auto company employs the most hourly workers in America? Ford. Do you know which company assembles the most vehicles in this country? Ford. That's not just a coincidence. It's a commitment. A 120-year-old commitment to build in America for America. During this unprecedented moment in automotive history, you stand to benefit big time. Woody Anderson Ford is now offering employee pricing. You pay what we pay. We've got over 190 F-150s for you to choose from with generous finance rates and the best deals of the year on America's best-selling truck for 48 years in a row. Employee pricing can save you thousands off MSRP, and with over 600 Fords for you to choose from, there's a good chance you'll find just exactly what you're looking for. This offer ends May 31st, so hurry in. Woody Anderson Ford.
McCurry Motors is your car and van rental headquarters. You can rent the vehicle you need today. Family in town, sporting event, church function, no matter what your need, McCurry Motors has you covered with a wide selection of cars and vans available for rent. They have 12-passenger Mercedes Sprinter van, 12-passenger Ford Transit van, 15-passenger Ford Transit van, and 15-passenger Chevrolet Express van. They have 2 locations, Highway 72 in Athens or Max Luther Drive in Huntsville.
This spring, bloom into savings at Owen Home Appliance Center with a new shipment of scratch and dent items at the Somerville location, like a side-by-side refrigerator with water and ice, just $6.99. Or head to the highly interactive location in Lacey Springs to get the latest in appliance tech. It's garden and grill season, so you're going to need a 21-foot upright frost-free freezer for just $7.99 at Owen Home Appliance Center. Quality products, quality pricing, quality service only at Owen Home Appliance Center, Somerville and Lacey Springs.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm chief meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly cloudy, overcast sky this afternoon. Temperature climbing into the upper and lower 80s. Could see some scattered showers and thunderstorms across the Tennessee Valley as we head into the heart of the afternoon, early into the evening. Some of that activity could be on the stronger end of the spectrum. We'd be talking about the potential for some gusty winds and a little bit of small hail. That activity should die down a little bit as we head into the overnight, early into your Saturday morning. Temperatures dropping into the lower 60s. A mostly cloudy to overcast sky for your Saturday. Temperatures going to be much cooler. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Log on today, 977ESPN.com. Joe Hunk, John Abraham, 256-576-4977. Welcome to the Blitz.
The crack one at 2. Second hour, final hour, best hour. John Abraham, Steve Bolton, Rudy Arvin here on the Blitz. 1 hour left as we get into Tom Abraham at noon and the rest of the wonderful programming we'll have for you throughout the weekend, including SEC baseball, Braves baseball, and so much more. I'm pretty sure there's an NBA game going on. Do we have an NBA game? A few of those?
ESPN radio is always so wonderful to deal with.
We got a few of those. Just look forward to that. But the SEC baseball definitely going to take the spotlight as we get into one heck of a week. It's almost felt like heavy hitter after heavy hitter because, I mean, it's the SEC, and this is what it is. It's top 25 teams facing off against each other, and yesterday we got to see the number 1 team fall to the number 11 team. And honestly, we thought this would probably be the case because we got a heavy hitter in the form of Arkansas facing off against a heavy, deep pitching squad in the form of Texas, but it ends all Arkansas.
That was a 10-game winning streak.
Yeah, and that snapped just like that.
9-0 shutout win for the Hogs in Palm Stadium, and Dave Van Horn, he has one of the best programs in the country. So consistent. They have the best offense in the SEC. They went against the best pitching staff in the Southeastern Conference, and Jim Schlossnagel's Longhorns, and they whipped Texas. Texas only their 3rd loss in the league. They have a substantial lead in the Southeastern Conference standings. I think they came into the weekend leading by 5 games. They are now 19-3. Now Alabama and Auburn both have huge series because they both want to host regionals coming up at the end of this month. Auburn will head to Tennessee to take on Tony Vitello and the Tennessee Volunteers, who Tennessee has hit a little bit of the skids, if you want to call it that. They're still one of the best teams in America, but they're 13-8 in the SEC. And Auburn right now, and Butch Thompson, they need this series if they want to host. And right now they are projected by Southeastern 16, which is of course Chris Lee and those guys, to host a regional. Alabama is a number 2 seed, but they could go a long way. They have 10 games remaining to the Tide in the regular season. They've got Skylar Meade and Troy coming up on Tuesday on the road to try to finish an unblemished midweek slate. But even more important, starting tonight, weather permitting, at Hawkins Field, they take on Tim Corbin and the Vanderbilt Commodores. The Commodores have really picked it up lately and started to play better baseball. Their pitching has been rounding into form. Offensively, they've also started to warm up. A couple of weeks ago, they swept the Georgia Bulldogs in Nashville, and that's no small task. Wes Johnson's Dogs have been really good, swung the bats really well. But Vanderbilt's very dangerous. It'll be the first meeting for Alabama and Vanderbilt since 2021 in Hawkins Field when they hooked up. So this is going to be an interesting series because Alabama's kind of they're starting to kind of figure their pitching staff out. They haven't had the injuries they had a year ago, which is I think kind of what derailed Rob Vaughn's maiden voyage because Riley Quick went down early and really after his first start and went down. They had Hagan Banks, who's become really their main setup guy, go down during the season. They had all kinds of pitching injuries, which basically by the time the end of the season, when they got that regional bid, they just didn't have enough pitching depth to withstand and make a deep run. Their bullpen was not as effective as they had hoped. Carson Osmer has been a godsend. The Ivy League transfer from Penn, he's been amazing. He's been one of the best closers in the country. Alabama's back into the bullpen is much more consistent. Now they've had Tyler Fay. This will, I think, be his third straight Friday start because Zane Adams hit a little bit of a wall, and he had been the Friday night guy as a sophomore, the lefty, for the majority of the entire season. But he had 2 bad starts, so they moved him back to where he was the most effective a year ago as a freshman. When he was a freshman All-SEC, he was a Sunday guy. So he's moved back to Sunday. You've got a guy like Riley Quick, who is going to be a high draft pick. I mean, the guy throws 97 to 99. And we talked Hewitt Trustville baseball and talking ball. He's a former Hewitt Trustville Husky. He played football and baseball. Was Mr. Baseball in the state of Alabama, and he is healthy now. He's 6-2 going into this Vanderbilt series. They're going to need a strong start out of him. I was doing the numbers in my head. Alabama's at Vandy, Georgia at home, and then at Florida. If they can beat Troy and win 2 out of these 3 series, avoid a sweep, because in the SEC, it's very difficult to sweep someone, even though they've done it twice. They swept Texas A&M on the road, and they swept Missouri last weekend. But, it's very difficult, especially on the road, to sweep. So if Alabama can find a way to win 2 of these last 3 series, avoid a sweep, and then beat Troy, you're talking 6-4 in your last 10.
Should be good enough.
I think that's good enough to host a regional. That means the Tide would be 41-14 and ranked, I think, solidly in the top 15 in the country. You have to be a top 16 seed to be a regional host. Now, I'm not sure it would be good enough to be a top 8 national seed, which means you host regionals and supers. Last year, 2 years ago, Alabama got hot. It was Steve. I know you mentioned that on Talking Ball about when they got hot 2 years ago when 2 times ran and got fired, and then Jason Jackson took over the pitching coach, still the pitching coach of Alabama, took over as interim head coach. They were the 16th national seed. They won a regional, ironically, and it went to the supers, but had to go to number 1 seed Wake Forest. And Wake Forest was a juggernaut that year, lost 2 games to none. But again, I do think Alabama has a good chance to be a regional host. It's going to be tougher, though. They might have to get to the weekend of the SEC tournament to be considered maybe a top 8 national seed.
Well, we had Kyle Schasberger on earlier in the week.
SEC Network.
And it made me take a closer look at Florida. And they're starting to get it.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's going to be a very tough road series for Alabama. If they had played Florida early in the year, I think they started 1-8. You'd have had a better chance. Right now, Florida's rounding into form.
I will tell you that the Gators this weekend have the South Carolina Gamecocks, and I know it's year 1 for Pulmonary.
Pulmonary.
We love Pulmonary, but it is year 1, and they're having their struggles. But then it's at Texas, and then home against Alabama.
No easy.
There's
no easy weekend.
I'm just
not in the Southeastern Conference.
Even when a team is kind of faltering like Tennessee, I still wouldn't want to see them on my schedule. I mean, for even Alabama, you see what they were able to do against Mizzou. That gives them a little bit of confidence moving forward. The 12-1 win to finish off that series, and now you're facing off a team that, yes, is a little bit scary on the schedule, but at the same time looks very much more doable after that sweep of Mizzou.
I mean, I say they're starting to get it, but they're basically taking care of the schedule, the part of the schedule where you need to take care. Like they swept Missouri, and they 2 out of 3 against Mississippi State. And they did have 2 out of 3 against Arkansas. That's probably their best series win of the year. But earlier in the year, they got swept out by Vanderbilt. They got swept out. They won 1 game against Ole Miss. Got swept out by Georgia. I got swept out by Tennessee. So, I mean, this is a tough way for Florida to end the year. But, boy, it's a big weekend. If as fun as it was to see both Auburn and Alabama be at an elite level, a high level in college basketball, we've got a chance here for baseball as well. Could you imagine both Alabama and Auburn hosting a regional? That is not out of the realm of possibility.
What if we saw a super regional?
Oh, my goodness gracious.
The funny thing is, though, I expected in baseball more than I would expect it in basketball. That's the craziest part about it. And now to see it being a possibility, I think that is definitely saying
And
something.
don't forget in
for the state.
'97, or excuse me, '96. I believe it was '96. Pardon me. Alabama and Auburn both went to Omaha.
That's right.
that year.
That's right.
That's the one time they both were in the top 8 when Jim Wells and Hal Baird had it rolling, and in the late '90s. And so we will see. I mean, Bruce Thompson's done a remarkable job at Auburn, class act, and they certainly are in the definite mix to be a regional host. Their schedule strength is outstanding. They've really, and I know they had a crazy environment when they swept LSU a couple of weeks ago, and that's saying something because LSU is really, really good.
I think that was the first time since like
88.
Oh,
Dude,
wow, 88.
There was some dude named Frank Thomas who was hitting in the middle of the lineup for the Auburn Tigers. He's the only Auburn baseball jersey I'll probably ever wear in my life. I did that once. I've since given it to a relative who's an Auburn fan. But Big Frank, I had Big Frank poster on my wall when he was with the White Sox. That guy could squat. I mean, he was an amazing player. And
Coach Dye talked about him being a tight end back then.
He was. He signed as a tight end. He was on a football scholarship.
Yeah.
It became obvious baseball was his future, and he's one of the greatest hitters to ever walk. And you could argue he's the greatest Auburn baseball player of all time. I mean, so and now that he's in Cooperstown, and Tim Hudson's on the short list as well.
Throw him
and people forget Tim Hudson was a 400 hitter and played center field as well as pitch for the Auburn Tigers. So he was a hell of a two-way player, probably the best two-way player in Auburn history. So I was blessed to watch him play. So there's been a lot of great players play at both Alabama and Auburn, and certainly right now Alabama's got Justin LeBron at shortstop, and he's a guy that could go number 1 overall in the draft next year. He's that talented, but they're going to need this next 3 weeks for Justin LeBron to be big in the middle of that lineup. Alabama, again, if they want to host, to me, they've got to get to 6-4. Whether that's winning all 3 of the SEC series, if they were to drop the game to Troy, but really, it's very tough to win 3 series in a row in the league. So to me, winning 2 of the 3 series, beating Troy, going 6-4, that means you'd be 17-13 in the SEC. I don't know that it would still be good enough to get a bye because of how good the league is right now. And Alabama lost the tiebreaker. They lost to Tennessee in early in the conference play in the season. So Tennessee would get that tiebreaker. They're not playing Texas in the regular season. They swept Texas A&M. A&M has played better lately. And that's why the series with Georgia is big, because they're basically tied in the standings. Yeah. So you're coming up, you'd want to protect your the turf at Sewell Thomas. It'll be the final regular season series there. That's why that series is huge. And then the Gators are fighting to get in. Well, they'll be in it. They're still fighting to, right now, the way they've gotten hot, they're still very much, I don't know about hosting, but they're very much in the NCAA picture. So, but again, if you're Alabama, if you get a road series win at Florida, not an easy place to play against Kevin O'Sullivan's guys, then I think that's another feather in your cap to potentially host. But Alabama just needs to get done. And then again, like I said, the Vandy series is big because that's another team you're tied with. You can get tiebreakers over Vandy and Georgia the next 2 weekends, which would put you in the mix to potentially get one of those buys.
The RPI rankings that has come out ahead of this weekend series. In fact, this just got updated this morning by NCAA.com. And by the way, I do have one other little caveat about NCAA.com that I would like to get to. Texas, Georgia, Vanderbilt, Auburn, Arkansas, LSU. Yes, I said SEC in the top 6. That's your RPI right there. So the other little caveat, little sidebar story, the NCAA.com. NCAA.com came out with a story because it is May and it's baseball series.
Okay, so what are they talking about?
Big series that you need to pay attention to. And there is significant baseball series going on. Clemson and Florida State's going on this weekend.
Right.
We've already mentioned Texas and Arkansas going on this weekend.
Even throwing Ole Miss versus Oklahoma. That is a close top 25.
Both those teams, that's another glut.
So
Ole Miss and Mike Bianco and then Skip Johnson and OU.
On NCAA.com to promote your product. NCAA.com
What they got for us?
says, boy, a big weekend series. You got to stay tuned for Missouri and Mississippi State.
What? They have not.
I mean, really? You want to highlight Missouri and Mississippi State?
I get the Mississippi State part of it, but
How? They just fired their coach, bro.
Well, that's why you would want to look
Missouri's
at it.
21.
Mizzou, on the other hand, any team that faces off against Mizzou right
This
now.
is NCAA.com
You
saying,
got Alabama going to Vanderbilt. You got Auburn going to Tennessee. You've got Texas and Arkansas, and you want to talk about the firing line and the clown patrol? I mean, that's really stupid.
Thank you. Let's highlight. Let's put a big spotlight on a.
At this rate, this Missouri team may be the worst in the history of the Southeastern Conference.
Oh, it's looking that way.
Yeah, but
Maybe they got their articles mixed up. Maybe they meant to put that into
It's that stupid, man. I'm sorry.
NCAA.com. Boy, big series because everyone was talking about high level action, except for, and I thought it was. I looked down, and by the way, no one put their name on the article as well.
I would
have gone there and said, "What is blah thinking?"
Is it somebody from Pro Football Focus?
Definitely see it. College baseball fans may wonder why the series made the cut, and for good reason. Neither team is ranked. It isn't a rivalry, and both teams will have to scrap
It's
it.
going to be awful. That's going to be awful.
I mean, my God, if it was Mississippi State and Ole Miss, I can at least understand because that's going to be as scary as zoo.
I do wonder, especially. Look what I'm going to put in here. Yeah, I'm going to say Missouri, Mississippi State. Let's see what people think about that.
The main argument that they have for this is the series could be this deciding factor of whether Mizzou makes history or not, in a good way or a bad way.
What? How is it in a good way?
I don't know. It's not, well, no good. No good.
How?
Yeah, that's
you can't fix stupid.
Definitely bad. Drew, I appreciate you throwing out all of the know-how about the good games that we're going to be focusing on.
Not Missouri and Mississippi State.
Definitely. That maybe is why they're at the bottom of the article. But even just
I mean, the top two teams in the SEC are only playing each other.
I mean, I like to go to NCAA.com because it's usually the press releases and it's just kind of the facts that they do little fluff pieces here and there, but it's to promote their products.
Now, wait a minute.
I get that.
Steve, now hold on now. Now, did you say you're saying they were saying Mississippi State and
Missouri?
They're not even playing each other, dude.
I'm talking May 15th to May 17th on that one. I believe it's
Yeah,
in
that,
the month
that's
of
not even
May.
right.
In the month of May. is what
Georgia's
the
playing
article
at
says.
Missouri this weekend. Man.
No, not this weekend. They just said in the month of May.
Oh.
Series to pay attention to in the month of May.
Well, I'm definitely going to bookmark
In other
this
words,
one.
it's even stupider.
I mean,
which is hard for the NCAA. Again, the series this weekend: Auburn at Tennessee. We already talked about it. Alabama at Vanderbilt.
Must-watch college baseball series in the month of May.
You've got, and you've already mentioned Florida at South Carolina with Coach Maneri rebuilding that proud program.
Yeah.
Kentucky at Mississippi State. Kentucky and that'll be a lot of speculation there because Nick Mingione is on the short list for Mississippi State. He's a former Mississippi State assistant, so I'm surely that's going to be a topic. Number 2, LSU. They're going to be at Texas A&M. The Georgia Bulldogs I just mentioned at Missouri. So Wes Johnson's team going to try to get 3 games in the standings there. Ole Miss, Mike Bianco, they are at Oklahoma. That's another top 25 series. We just talked about Texas and Arkansas. Arkansas already one up in that series. And then as we said, I mean, there's just so many, and that'll be your slate for the weekend. But that's just like, and it's like what John just said. There's no weak series in this league. I mean, Missouri is by far and away the worst team.
There is one series that looks pretty weak.
15th through the 17th.
But Mississippi State is capable because they won 2 out of 3 at Alabama and nearly won the series at Auburn. So that's a dangerous series for Kentucky. And Kentucky has they're another one like Florida that started very slow, but is playing much better baseball. So really, to be honest with you, in the Southeastern Conference right now, there's only one really bad team.
So the guy at the bottom of the article, I don't know if he wrote it, but it says Lawrence Price joined NCAA.com in August of 2024 as digital editor intern.
Well, he just set up intern.
Didn't have to out him like that. No, you.
You have to, and it's that stupid.
You'll never bring that one up.
I'm just telling you, Lawrence. I'm and the other series on there, North Carolina, NC State. I hear you.
Yeah, but because North Carolina's having a hell of a year, NC State, Elliott Davis, always
Florida State. I completely understand.
Link Jarrett and Eric Backett.
Texas, Arkansas. You're spot on.
Hey, even Kansas versus West Virginia. I'm all right with one. But not Mizzou versus Mississippi State.
Come on.
It's time to forget about these teams for this season. Focus on the guys that are going to make it deep into the postseason. We'll take it to break off of that. Drew, you got to go to Bubby's or something like that?
Yeah, one of our great sponsors, Bubby's Diner, going to meet a couple of friends and have some outstanding meal right there and have some lunch. But it's been great to do. 2.5 hours of radio, I guess. Well, no, I'm not saying it's 3.5. I've lost track because we went from 9 to 10.5. I always sucked at math, not like JJ Redick coaching.
Just making sure that watch is running. Yeah, it's 10:23. You did 3.5 hours.
That's what I mean. I just said I corrected myself as I watched, JJ's lapdog, Jay Williams talk.
Well, let's just do a little bit longer on this segment because if you're going to head out of here from Bubby's, which I'm all for, Steeler Mike, we want to talk with you. Steeler Mike, how you doing?
What's up, Mike?
Good, man. How you guys doing this morning?
Well,
we were just talking about your Vols, man. They got the Auburn Tigers big series.
Yeah, it's I don't watch SEC baseball or college baseball until the SEC tournament because I have to devote my time to the Pirates winning ways, and my wife won't let me watch.
Man, God bless you, man. You are a diehard.
As bad as it gets, man. 12-20 sucks, but
it's not the Rockies
could
though.
be worse.
Could be a lot worse.
Good Lord.
Rockies are a tough watch.
Now, if you want to watch the next great one, and this is just my opinion, I'm a homer. Take a look at our center fielder, O'Neal Cruz, 6'7", 5'2" guy. When he's exit velo of between 108 and 115 every at bat, it's ridiculous.
What is going on with these in baseball where you got 6'6" shortstops and 6'7" center fielders, man? Freakazoid athletes. Crazy.
He was a shortstop, and they moved him to center because he was so bad at shortstop, and things haven't been wonderful out there in center, especially with that notch in left center. It's kind of tough. But Steve was talking about baseball cards earlier, and I want to say something that'll make you sick. My dad was born in 1938.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. It's Pennsylvania. He started collecting baseball cards when he was about 6 or 7.
Here it comes.
And in about 1975, he went up to go get his baseball cards and all his stuff from my grandmother's house, God rest her soul. I guess who's thrown thousands of baseball cards, 30, 20. Yeah. Got rid of them. Dad said he had a Honus Wagner in there, he thinks.
Okay, so I had one piece of memorabilia from I really you are highly, highly, highly discouraged in getting autographs from anybody when you're part of Braves Radio.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Had a poster signed by Greg Maddux, Don Sutton, and it was a couple others. But I rolled it up and I put it in the basement of my house, and the basement flooded.
That's the other thing that happens.
The basement.
Well, and I collected through the late 80s, but unfortunately with all my stuff, Roger Clemens, Dwight Gooden, and Jose Canseco's and Mark McGuire's, and the only but the only ones that I'm really, because most of those all fell through the floor because of the steroids. The one I did have that I had 2 or 3 of his rated rookie cards, and like Fleer, Donruss.
I had a 1984. I have somewhere. I've got somewhere the 1984 U.S. Olympic baseball team.
There you go.
It had Obity McDowell on it.
Odeby Young McDowell.
Yeah, Odeby Young McDowell. And Mark McGuire was on that team too.
Pre-juice.
Y'all want to hear the greatest baseball card steal of all time?
What's that?
So I was a kid, and my buddy was a huge Tim Raines fan.
Tim Raines.
I was a Ricky Henderson guy, so he traded me 4 rookie Ricky Henderson before rookie Tim Raines. He won that battle.
Wow.
Ricky B. Ricky.
There you go.
Yeah.
Big switch.
You know, Ricky.
Ricky B.
Guys,
Ricky.
have a blessed day. Go Vols. Steve, you gotta. We're talking baseball. You gotta talk the Maddox story when you were covering the Braves and going up and talking to Maddox. You gotta tell it again.
The Javi Lopez story. Who put you up?
Take care, guys.
Good stuff, Stealing Mike. We'll take it to break off of that. When we get back, we'll talk a little bit more about Pokemon cards, how they don't have ACLs, so maybe they have a little bit more longevity. That's the idea to think about as we head into the
Longevity, right next to the garbage pail kids, right?
Yeah. Well, it's trendy. People love trendy. What are they going to call?
Let's talk about the X's and O's of family entertainment. Every parent in Alabama knows the importance of being able to draw up an activity that'll get you out of the house for a couple of hours. But it needs to be affordable. It needs to be family friendly. Above all, it needs to be fun. Now, let's talk about high school sports. Bang for your buck, school sports provide the perfect game plan for your family. You'll enjoy all of the drama and excitement competitive sports offer. You'll be supporting the future leaders of our community in a meaningful way. Best of all, you can take the entire family without breaking the bank. Heck, you won't even die. Now, enough chop talk. Let's get out there and see what's playing at the high school in your school sports. Good for our kids, good for our community. This message is presented by the Alabama High School Athletic Association and the Alabama High School Athletic Directors and Coaches Association.
Sports is the team position. The Rockets trash pandas. If the pros trust Sportsmed, you can too. Sportsmed provides every support you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their Embrace Shop for in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
A wise man once said, "If you take care of old folks and children, everything in the middle will take care of itself."
Hi, I'm Danny Aldridge, lawyer in Alabama and Tennessee. In the next 20 years, the number of those folks over 65 years of age will more than double. In our golden years, the most important goal is to be treated with dignity and have control over doing what makes you grateful with those you love. At the Aldridge Law Firm and the Legal Town Center, we're dedicated to help you with these goals, and we'll be there when life throws you those inevitable curveballs. Let us assist you with your legal needs, whatever they may be or become. You may reach us by phone at 256-534-3188 or online with Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Just remember, we're here to help. Whether it's personal injury, wrongful death, fraud and cheat, or estate planning made complete, we're here to help.
Would you call a plumber for a root canal? The same goes for selling your timberland or farm. Choose someone who understands your property and can help you on the front end so you can capitalize on the back end. I am Bo Butler with Southland Realty and Auction. As a guide, I have put many hunters in position to take a shot. It's time for you to take your shot. Let's talk about putting you in position to sell your property. Call me at 256-609-0512. Remember, Bo knows land.
I'm here with Stan McDonald of Jacob Title. Stan, I've heard that every real estate closing at Jacob Title is a very big deal. Why is that?
Wes, I'm reminded of a very impactful statement that I heard from Coach Gene Stallings years ago when he talked about big games and little games. He said he didn't like that comparison. He says, because try losing one of those little games. And if you ever do, it ends up being the biggest game all year long. Well, it's the same thing with real estate closings. Every game, every closing is a very big deal at Jacob Title, because when it's your closing and your contract on the line, it's a very big deal. And we understand that at Jacob Title.
So it sounds like whether your client is a first-time residential buyer or a multi-million-dollar investor, they can expect your A game.
That's exactly right. As a matter of fact, when you bring your real estate closing to us at Jacob Title, we understand it's all about trust and confidence. And when Stan McDonald tells you that a chicken dips snuff, you can look under his wing for the box.
And like Beebs likes to say, there's no doubt about it.
Tom Abraham here for my friends at Your Home Window Company. When it comes to replacement windows, exterior doors, or new window screens, Your Home Window is the answer anywhere in Huntsville, Athens, Decatur, or Hartselle. Your Home Window windows and doors are made here in the USA and come with a lifetime warranty. When replacing those old windows or doors, Your Home Window has the solution for you. In-home estimates are always free and financing is available. Learn more at yourhomewindow.com and see clearly with Your Home Window. Visit yourhomewindow.com to make an appointment today.
Fast, too furious. I'm too fast for y'all, man. Too fast, too furious. Too fast for y'all. I just came home from doing a bid.
We've been acting a fool all show long.
Move, get out the way.
A little bit of ludicrous for you.
Luda.
Meet right in the middle
ATL.
of Biggie.
ATL.
Right
I'm good with Luda.
There you go. You remember the big old wrists he had?
Yeah.
Threw out the first pitch one time with him. He's always been acting a fool. Either way, it's been a fun episode of the Blitz. John Abraham, Steve Moulton, Drudy Armand just left for some.
He's
Bubby's
going to
Diner.
Bubby's.
And
He's going to Bubby's.
You guys could join him.
Can
over
somebody go down to Bubby's for me right now and just monitor? Because don't you just wonder the crew, the Drew crew?
Yeah,
that's what I want to know.
When's Drew's birthday? Do we know?
It was in April.
Damn it! What?
Yeah.
He didn't make any. Okay, you know what? Next year, I'm going to get him those Ray-Bans glasses that have cameras in it, and I'm just going to make sure they are always live streaming what he is doing.
So you're going to gift him something that's going to spy on him.
It's going to spy what he's doing.
So, by the way, I have been in Drew's crib, I think, twice. The amount of shoes that man has.
Oh, I can only imagine.
There were boxes. He has stacks of shoes all over the place.
Yeah. Look, collections are a huge thing for some people.
Yes.
Some people collect shoes. Some people collect hats.
My wife is now collecting minerals and rocks.
That's a thing, too. It makes you feel better. It's like some ancient medicine or whatever. I don't know. You hold on to a crystal and it'll make you feel better. But I have recently gotten into Pokemon cards, and it hasn't been something that I, haven't done. And I just decided to hop right back into it. I used to do it back in 2011 to 2015. And after going through my collection quite a few times, because now I'm actually playing the card game itself, I've learned that I collected a lot more cards than I thought.
There's a card game?
Yeah, that's why you collect the cards, so you can play the actual game itself.
So this is it feels like there was Magic, I want to say was the name.
Magic, there's also Yu-Gi-Oh! And all of those other games that have been played throughout the years. It's similar to that, a little bit more of an easier learning basis to get into the game. And now I realize that I'm talking to somebody who has no idea about the card game or the value of these cards or the value of Pokemon in the first place.
My issue with card value feels a little bit to me like the Antique Roadshow.
Okay.
When you watch the Antique Roadshow and some guy goes, "This is worth 20 grand." For who? For who? Who is going to buy that for 20? And I know it only takes one.
Yep.
I get that. I understand that, but you still have to find that one.
Well, it takes millions when it comes to the Pokemon world because there are a lot of fans of this series that has been going on since 1995, I believe. It started with...
Really? That was 95?
Yeah, they came out with the games. They came out with the
it
cards.
was gigantic right out of the gate.
Oh, no doubt about it. And, of course, the anime that is still going on until today.
Spam risk. I got to take this.
So who would buy a small piece of cardboard? Well, quite a few people, as I want to get into some of these, but what's your introduction to Pokemon?
To Pokemon, it is a younger generation more than anything. I never got into Pokemon, was gigantic into football cards, baseball cards, even some hockey cards back in the day. But it was more sports related.
Yeah, it's
cards for me growing up.
The card collecting usually starts with the sports because that's usually what your dad would be into. My dad got me into it. I started collecting football cards. We have these big binders. I probably got 3,000 football cards throughout my collection. Some of them signed by Titans players I actually got to meet because he used to do shows. But then at one point, I got into Pokemon. It was on a trip to, I believe it was down to Orlando. And I was just like, I want to get into something. This is around 2013. I was young, 13 years old to be specific, maybe 12.
So like 2 years ago.
Feels like 2 years ago now. But I got into it and I was like, oh, this is cool. And then I started collecting some throughout the years. Turns out I got some cards that were pretty expensive. I ended up selling a few of them. I've talked about that story on this show. But I do want to look at the impact that it's having on just collecting cards, the whole card collecting community in the first place, because now we're seeing, new baseball cards being sold for a lot. Paul Skeen's brand new card sold for over $1 million. It was one of his rookie cards. And that was something, it was a 1 of 1, and it was something that was just like, whoa, like this got people to take notice. And for people who collect Pokemon cards, they know whenever they go to card shows, it's hand in hand that you're going to see some sports cards as well. I got to tell you, though, some of these prices are absolutely outrageous. And I want to go down a list of some of the most expensive Pokemon cards ever. And I want to see your reaction on it. So we'll start at number 20. I'm going to skip a few, and I'll get down to the top 5.
Okay.
This one's called the Tamamushi University Magikarp.
I mean,
from 1998. If it's old, it's going to be expensive. That's not even that old.
That's the theory.
So, most recently sold April 2022, PSA 10, which is a perfect grade. That means the card is very nice, very crisp. Ain't nothing wrong with it. No white on the edges. It sold for $78,000 for a piece of cardboard. That isn't honestly that strong of a Pokemon if you tried to actually play with it. It's got 30 HP. So now I'm going to skip a few. 99, 100 it. And we're going to get down to some of the more interesting cards, like the Snap Pikachu card from 1999.
I mean,
you got to get the Snap Pikachu card. This is
what I've been holding out hope for.
This is a card that is going off of the Pokemon Snap video game that came out for the N64, and it's a picture of Pikachu's face, the very, very noticeable Pikachu that we all saw during the Japanese series at the beginning of the baseball series, as they were obviously dancing all over the place on the field. This one it's cool looking. Sold on June 2023. Sold to a private seller. $270,000. It's getting expensive. It's getting pricey. This is a very, very pricey market that we're getting into. All right. Now we're in the top 4. We can only imagine what this trophy number 2 Pikachu Silver second place second tournament card is going to go for.
I'm thinking you can buy a house with it.
Well, you can buy a pretty nice house. You can't buy a house in LA for it, but you could buy a pretty nice house here in the area. This one, you got to win a tournament for. Well, you got to get second place at least. $440,000. Everybody knows the first edition Charizard, maybe. Do you?
First edition
Charizard, sparkly, all that. It's Charizard, one of the best Pokemon you could get in the game.
Like the lithogram stuff that they used to put stuff on.
This is the
authenticity.
This is the one that got things on the map for Pokemon, I would say. As we saw a popular YouTuber, Logan Paul, make a huge deal out of this, coming out to his boxing tournaments, wearing it on his neck.
Really?
Oh yeah. This is a big deal. $420,000. All right. I'm sick of these thousands. I want to see what the most expensive card is. Number 1, the most expensive card probably in all of fiction, the illustrated Pikachu from 1998. Do you want to take a guess what this one goes for?
I mean, you're spitting out these numbers.
I mean, I haven't gotten to a million yet.
Monopoly money.
I haven't gotten to $1 million yet.
I'll throw 900,000.
900,000. Okay, that's reasonable. We're getting up to there. PSA 10 sold March 2022. $5 million and some change. Steve, I don't know if you've noticed in Walmart or any store that you go, but that there's a lack of these Pokemon cards.
No, I've not been looking.
That's because people can't find them anymore. It's because they're being sold to these scalpers that just like to grab a whole lot of them, and these are grown men we're talking about. Going over to athletic cards, sports cards, everybody knows Mickey Mantle sits at the top of the mantle. This card could go for millions of dollars depending on what its grade is.
That's right.
August 2022, it sold for $12.6 million. So it's not too far-fetched to think that we might be seeing some Pokemon cards get up there in time.
I'm taking a look at most expensive baseball card or just most expensive sports cards.
Yeah.
There's one here for Mike Trout.
Really?
Mike Trout, a rookie Mike Trout card signed, went for $3.936 million.
Oh, yeah.
Mike Trout?
Mike Trout.
He's
still Mike Trout.
I'm not
Mike
listen.
Trout.
He's a great baseball player. But
that's what I'm saying. People got money to throw at these cards, and now with all of the one of ones, there's only one you can find.
I did look up my traded series. I do have the traded series, the full traded series, but the Bo Jackson, if it is grade mint condition, which I haven't touched the card.
You could probably keep it outside.
$1,500. So yeah, I am willing to take offers, Auburn fans. 256-576-977.
We do have to go to the phone lines before we head out of here. I will get you some protection for that card. Hopefully, it still holds a little bit of that value. Even
I think I have a Barry Bonds rookie as well in another traded series.
Okay. Well, definitely hold on to those. Maybe put them in.
But he's not going to be on the Hall of Fame anytime soon.
He's not. That's the one thing Pokemon cards don't have to deal with. I don't think Pikachu's going to be on steroids anytime soon.
He's not betting on games. Not betting on games.
Oh, we got Jason on with us. Jason, how you doing, man?
Jason
or Josh?
Josh. My bad, Josh.
Hey, what's going on, guys? I just wanted to, when you said Jason, I said, let me say something just to make sure it ain't me.
I'm sorry, brother. You got it.
You're good, brother. You know I don't care. Man, I'm glad you brought up the Pokemon because that was something I was actually going to say when y'all were talking about the baseball cards. And when I say my twins, I have sunk, and I have a binder myself. But when I tell you I have probably dropped $3,000 to $4,000 over a 6-7 year period, and I will say my binder itself, there's no telling how many cards I've got that are already up there. So I'm hoping one day.
So I do have an error card. It was a John Smoltz Donruss card that had a picture of Tom Glavine on the front of it.
Oh,
and I always thought that was kind of cool.
That would tell for something. Now, one thing that I was going to say about the baseball, I had a 1989 rookie Ken Griffey Jr. card.
Nice.
And I cannot find that card to save my life. And I'm hoping it's still in my mom's attic. But I know that card. I had it in a case, and I know that card is worth something.
The
if
amount
it's
of
in
people,
the attic, though,
the amount of people that are running to their parents'
it's a
house.
good thing there's no humidity here in Alabama, right? I mean,
I know, right?
Golly, the amount of people though.
That
appreciate it, Josh. Good stuff.
no,
man.
thank you, Jason.
Josh Jason. That's a good name. We got both of those guys that call into the show. I get mixed up with the Jays, and we had a really in-depth story about these cards. Yeah, the amount of people that are thinking to themselves, wow, I should rush to my parents' basement right now and see if I could find my cards. It's probably going up there. The number's going up there. You just gotta hope that your dad's not using it to like even out a shelf, because that's the worst part. You get a few cards, you can even out the shelf. You ever do that move before?
I'm old enough to remember. I did it too, putting baseball cards in the spokes of my. I did because you wanted to hear the click. You wanted to hear the. Da.
Oh yeah, that's my motor.
Yeah.
It's a 4-cylinder. We'll take it to break.
It's a 2-speed. Yeah.
When we get back, Brock Purdy and the 49ers might be a little cursed if you sign him onto a deal. You'll find out more when we get back.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community.
The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors, all taken care of by Eagle, the same Eagle that takes care of all your masonry, insulation, and landscaping needs. Eagle brings the same level of expertise to all these disciplines, and they're ready to provide you with a free quote. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Are you tired of power outages disrupting your life? It's time for a Generac standby generator from Current Electrical. Storms may rage outside, but inside your family's powered up. So why choose Current Electrical for your generator needs? 1, we offer a wide range of models to suit every budgeted energy requirement. 2, our project managers handle every step of the process: power, gas, permitting, and inspections. 3, our certified technicians install your generator with precision, ensuring peace of mind. Don't wait for the next blackout. Call 256-880-1880 or visit us online at jetsuperstore.com.
Football season and Bad Daddy's Burger Bar. The perfect combination of good times and great food. This season, score big with one of our chef-inspired expressions of pure burger amazingness. Our delicious burgers are made with premium Angus beef, and you can pair it with one of our signature cocktails or a cold craft beer from our huge selection. Bad Daddy's Burger Bar on the Parkway in Huntsville and our new location at Cliff Farm, Highway 72 in Madison.
Normally, when you call a roofing company, all you hear is you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Since 1965, the folks at Fleming have been focused on what you need, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement, commercial or residential. And when it comes to storm damage, you want Fleming on your side. They know all the ins and outs of insurance claims and will guide you through the entire process. Log on FlemingHSV.com and book your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
You know, this process is all about talking ball.
Listen to Talkin' Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond.
What did they want privacy for? To just start talking ball.
Every weekday morning, wake up with Scott and Drew. It's Talkin' Ball. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
I don't think I'm going to sit on this one as long as I did yesterday because the show might end if I do that. But welcome back into the Blitz. John Abraham, Steve Moulton. Final episode of the week.
But I'll be back here Monday.
Yep. And now,
Ben Ingram going to join us from the Atlanta Braves Radio Network on Monday. This is after they will sweep the Dodgers this weekend.
Yes.
Can I speak that into existence?
You can try.
Even though Bryce Elder's on the mound on Sunday.
It's a good team. So I got a few things I want to get into before we get out of here. One of those is going to be Henry Ruggs, of course, in prison. It was a tragedy what he got involved
very
with.
tragic. We pay for all of the mistakes that we all make.
Exactly.
Some are bigger than others, and the loss of life, I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
I really can't.
But for some people, of course, this is something that it's an accident. And although, you know, he was the one that got behind the car and started driving.
Dumb mistake.
It was a dumb mistake. And that's something he's going to have to live with. But I don't think it's something that we should completely stop him from having a career after.
I'm honest. Just again, I root for comeback stories. I really do. But in situations like this, 10 years,
if he was in there for 10 years, that's a different story because he's going to be out on parole in 2026.
But how? This is not even 10 years.
No,
this is loss of life.
Yeah.
This is not, speeding ticket or cheating on your taxes or this is loss of life.
And you make a very good point. And that's another reason why I extend the phone lines to you, 256-576-9777, because we have seen this in the past where players have made mistakes, gone to prison, and been able to come back and rejuvenate their football careers. The first one, Plexico Burress. You remember? Remember old Plexico Burress? The man was a stud coming out of college. Just to find
and not a fan of Nick Saban.
No.
Go ahead and Google Plexico Burress and Nick Saban if you'd like a little reading material for you.
Yeah. Well, Plexico Burress, he goes to prison. He's in there for a little bit of time. He served 20 months and then was released in 2011. And almost immediately after he was let go, he was able to sign a deal with the New York Jets for $3 million. So just like that, able to get his career back on and rolling after, of course, he shot himself through the leg. Yeah. Did you know the story? Yeah. Okay, you know the story. He was at a nightclub. He's not supposed to have a gun.
They were listening to Bad Bunny.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, Bad Bunny's only a little bit older than me. I highly doubt that. Michael Vick was also one of those players, the most notable one, I would say. Of course, the dog fighting that happened, and his career was a little bit in a weird place whenever he was taken in. But
I really wish he would have dedicated himself like he did after prison, before prison. But the older I get, the realization that everybody's not on the same path.
Yeah.
Just because you're blank age does not mean you are mature.
Exactly.
It takes, and listen, we're all different.
Yeah. And where he came from.
We're all snowflakes.
Where he came from, I mean, it wasn't a time, it wasn't a place where he was able to have the fun that he was able to finally achieve whenever he made it to the NFL. That was something he was working for his entire life. But then, of course, other things get in the way. But when he comes back, that's whenever his career was like, oh, this is a respectable quarterback. Of course, the Eagles had him for a little bit. The Jets had him for a little bit. Because he
dedicated himself to getting better at quarterback and not just showing up and relying on his God-given ability, Vince Young. He never, when he dedicated himself to that, he turned into a very good quarterback in the National Football League.
Oh, yeah, and he made his pockets a little bit heavier with $53 million from the Eagles. Michael Floyd is another instance of a player who was
forgot about that one
involved in a DUI charge.
Yep.
This one ended his time as a New England Patriot, and he was suspended by the Cardinals upon his arrest in 2016. But Floyd, he would only spend 24 days in county jail as a result of his actions, and after release, he immediately made a comeback with the Vikings and signed a deal worth up to $7 million. So that's another one. Tank Johnson. You remember Tank Johnson?
I do.
Okay.
I do.
I remember a little bit less than Tank Johnson, but he was drafted back in 2004, and he was a big body. He spent 45 days in prison before he was able to come back. A lot of smaller crimes, but Jerry Jones decided, hey, you know what? We're all for this guy. And my favorite player of all.
Is it a Brown?
He was. Jamal Lewis. Everybody.
There
Jamal Lewis.
There it is.
He was found guilty for taking part in a drug deal and was forced to spend 4 months inside of prison. When he came back, played for the Ravens a little bit longer, had a few 1,000-yard seasons. And then, hey, Browns thought this is a great pickup.
You're not going to go Leon Lett?
No, I'm not.
No?
Or Dante Stallworth. He never came back.
The hits just keep on coming.
Yeah, they do. Tom Abraham coming up at noon.
Hi, folks. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, inviting you to come test drive any one of our over 100 F-150s. From rock-solid, dependable work trucks to our state-of-the-art Platinum Series, we've got an F-150 for you. Test drive one today, and you'll understand why the F-150 is the best-selling truck in America, going on 48 years in a row.